Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be how to make your own lipstick shades. I did a video on decanting lipsticks if you're a makeup artist, which is one of my most popular videos. And one of the most popular questions is how to make your own colours. So I'm going to show you that today using a new clean palette. So let's get started. You're going to need a candle, a metal spoon, ideally one with a long handle as it can get quite warm and you don't want to burn your fingers. You'll need an empty lip palette. Also lipsticks, maybe ones that you're not so keen on that you want to change the colour. I'm using these ones because there is still lots left in there, you just can't see it. And you'll also need a spatula. I'm using a metal one, but you can also use an orange wood stick. So light your candle and then we're ready to start. As a makeup artist, I work on many different faces for different reasons, and I'm consistently mixing different lip shades together to get the right tone. So I'm picking some of my favourite combos today. So I want to make some really nice coral tones and also some really nice nudes. For the first colour, I've taken a big chunk of the pink and a little bit less of the red tone. The red will overpower the pink, so we don't want it to be as intense, but I want something in between these two shades. So I've suspended the spoon above the candle, I don't want it to touch the flame, and then I use my spatula to completely mix the tones together. Once they're completely mixed, I then pour that into my palette. Now in case I want to make this colour again in the future once I run out, I'm going to need to know which shades I've used. So I've noted them on a piece of paper and I'm going to use some Scotch tape to stick that onto the back of the palette. You can however just rename it and give it a really cool funky name for yourself. It can be really hard to find the perfect nude. You'll see it on Instagram on somebody else and you'll think that's beautiful, you buy it for yourself, but it isn't you. So why not make your own? The beauty about melting your own lipsticks is that while it's in that melting stage, if you feel like it's still not quite right and it needs to be, say, a little bit darker, a little bit cooler, a bit warmer, then you can just add in another lipstick shade. You don't have to stick to just two. But what you do need to bear in mind is the finishes of the lipstick. So for instance, you get frost finishes, matte finishes, cream sheen, luster, you get all different kinds of finishes. Try to stick with the same finishes if possible. For instance, matte and frost don't tend to blend very well, you tend to get a separation. It's not too bad with a matte and a cream sheen for instance. Matte and creamy matte work really well, but I tend to stick with the same finishes. For this mixture you can see I've used only a tiny bit of the red, so I've taken a larger amount of the coral tone and I'm trying to amp it up ever so slightly because it just needs a little bit more punch. Now you don't need to worry about this ruining the consistency of your lipstick. Provided you're mindful of the finishes that you're putting together, you won't have any issues. You can even mix different brands together. Just bear in mind that you do get what you pay for. MAC lipsticks and Bobbi Brown, they all have really good pigment payoff, whereas some of the high street brands tend to be a little bit more wishy-washy. That's not to say you can't mix them together, you certainly can, but I'd advise testing the colour combos on the back of your hand first before you mix them together and realise you really don't like it. These two lipsticks I'm using here are both matte finishes and I've used quite a bit of both, but when they melt down they're very thick. So you may find, like this one on the odd occasion, that when you're about to pour it out you don't get as much off the spoon as you'd like. If some of your lipsticks are very matte and you'd like them to be a little bit more emollient, you can add a tiny bit of Vaseline to your spoon while they're melting and just mix the entire concoction together, and that will give you a slightly more creamier texture. So these are some of my favourite colours to mix together. If you want to get more creative, you can purchase a white lipstick like this one from Makeup Forever, and you could even make some pastel tones. The pink I'm using here is one of my favourites, but I'd also like a very lighter version of it, so I'm going to mix in some of the white, then I'll have a choice. I can choose between the darker pink or the lighter pink. This is great if you're a lipstick lover in the summer and you like bright punchy colours. So once again, once it's melted down, I use my spatula to completely mix the tones together and then pour that into my palette. Lastly, don't forget to add your colour to the back whether you're naming it yourself or you're going to put down the two shades that you've used. Then just pop your palette back together. And that is my quick and easy method on how to create your own lipstick shades. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. You can tap the picture of my face to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. You can also catch up on my previous tutorial which is on screen now for you. And if you'd like to follow me outside of YouTube, my social handles are also on screen. Thank you for watching and I'll see you again soon. Bye!